I'm Claire from Created the Ottaway. I'm an independent demonstrator for Stampin' Up in the UK. Thank you for joining me. This is my weekly craft along and I have got something a little bit special to share with you this week, and you won't believe that you can make this with one sheet of 12 by 12 paper and a little bit of card. Honestly, it is a mini album, so don't switch off if you're a card maker and you think, nope, I don't do mini albums. You will want to give this one a go. It's just something a little bit more special and it's super easy, I promise. So the cover is just with two colours of card. Again, looks complicated, but I'm going to show you how to do it. We open it up. I've put a little pocket on the inside of mine because my pages are not going to have very much embellishment, so there's quite a bit of room left, and I can tuck a gift in there, so that's quite a nice idea. So it is called a zigzag mini album, and the reason for that is that when you open out the pages, it opens out like a zigzag, so I'm hoping you can see that. If I put it down flat so you can see, what happens is you turn the pages and it unfolds, and you can see I've put a little bit of embellishment on just to show you what I've done, but it goes one way and it also goes the other way, so there's loads of room to personalise it and fill it with photos, with lovely inspiring words, all sorts of things actually, some nice stickers, some embellishments from all the stash that you've been hoarding, all sorts. So I've used a real mix of old and new stuff from Stampin' Up on mine. The paper that this was my practice one, you see. The paper that I've used is retired now, but I'm going to make one today and you are just going to love it. So, details. The thing with this that will lift your makes is the little details. So I've used just plain coloured card, but I've lifted it by adding some die cut flowers to the front, so I'll talk you through how to do that. It just raises it up a little notch without too much effort. And then the paper inside I've coordinated. I've used one sheet of 12 by 12, so it automatically matches, but also I've gone along the edge of the paper with a marker so that it doesn't have any harsh white lines. And then I've used the same embellishments on the inside. I've used the flowers so that it all ties in on every sentiment that I've done, back and front. I've used the same flowers as I've used on the front. And I've used one set of dies. Now, if you've got a set of layering dies in your stash, you need to make more use of them. I've got the ones that are the country in dies from Stampin' Up that I've used on this. And basically you get a whole load of dies, which I don't know where I've put them, in my excitement to get on video. But I've die cut them out, the shapes out, so you can see the different sizes. So you get 6 sizes in the pack. They're just plain, they don't have any stitching detail, which if you've watched my videos before, I'm absolutely obsessed with stitching detail, but I really wanted the paper to be the star of this show. And then what I've done is I've actually cut lots of them in half, different ways. So this one is cut in half and I've used the other piece on another set. This one is cut in half and it's just on the side there. This one is a whole one. Let's go back this way. I've used half there, a whole one there, and then the other half of that one there. And because of that, it all ties in with the whole album and just gives it a really finished look. So that would be a top tip. Use the same embellishments inside and out. Don't use too many different pieces, and use the same dies inside and out. It doesn't matter if they're squares or rectangles or circles even. I think a circle one would be quite nice as well. So yeah, just give it a go and see what you think. Shall we craft? Okay. So to make this today, I am using this set from Stampin' Up. It's a Frames and Flowers Designer Series paper, and it comes in a whole pack. You get 12 by 12 pages, but then you get all these elements that just you just to pull out. What I mean like that is they're already done, so I haven't got many left. But when you open your paper, you get all bits and pieces like this that are attached to a sheet, and you just pop them off. So it takes out all of the work for you. Now I've used the majority of mine, so I've just got odds and ends. But luckily, I have one sheet of paper left. Okay, so I've just got one page, a whole 12 by 12 page, and that's what I'm going to use today with that. But you get sort of like the front of cards, you get these different reefs and little pieces, tiny little flowers that actually are perfect for this because they're the same shape. The ones I used on my original one, I actually went through all my flowers and tried to find a similar shape. Let me see if I can find it now. So it's from the Zany Zoo set. So if you've been with Stampin' Up or you've got a Stampin' Up demonstrator in your life, they may well have this, and it cuts little flowers out like this. I knew it. Look, I was so organised. I had the dies ready, and then as soon as you start talking, they disappeared. I'll find them in a minute. But I added those to the front, so that's what I've done. Here's the instructions-ish. They're the sizes. I've done it in inches and centimetres. If you want to screenshot that, then you can go back to it without having to go into the video. Once you've made this album once, I think you'll be fine with it. You'll know how to do it again and again and again. Like I say, it's one sheet of paper and a couple of bits of cards, so it's a real good user-upper of those odd pages that you just don't know what to do with. I'm going to talk you through it step by step now. So if you see anything you like, I would love you to shop with me, and it keeps me doing what I love. At creativetheyotaway.co.uk you can find all Stampin' Up products on there, including a lot of exclusive online stuff. So what should we do first? Should we do the cover first? So this time I've gone from the paper and I've picked a couple of colours out that will coordinate. So I've gone for Pretty Peacock because that looks lovely with that. And I've also gone for Lost Lagoon. So I'm thinking that my spine is going to be in Pretty Peacock, and the other pages, the front and the back, are going to be in Lost Lagoon. So I'm going to need my paper trimmer and my piece that I'm using for my spine. So this piece of coloured card, I'm going to say it in inches, but if you refer back to your photo that you screenshot, you can see it in centimetres as well. So this is going to need to be 3 3/4 by 4 1/8. So let's just do that. I'm going to do 4 1/8 first, 4 1/8, and 3 3/4. Okay, so it sort of looks fairly near to a square, doesn't it? So on the shorter side, so the bit that is 3 3/4, so that bit, I'm going to score it at 1 1/2. So 1 1/2, scoring and not cutting, and 2 1/4. Okay. Oh, sorry, just knocked the camera. That's going to keep it swinging for half an hour. Hopefully not. Okay. So what you end up with is that piece like that. So let's move that out of the way a minute. And I'm just going to make sure that that's really nice and crisp on the score lines. Okay, just like that. So that's going to be the spine of our mini album. I told you it was easy. For the front and the back, we need 2 pieces that are 4 1/8 by 6 1/8. So I'm going to do a contrasting colour. I'm going to use Lost Lagoon, and I'm going to do, what shall I do? Which way round? Oh, decisions. and do it 4 1/8 this way. I didn't think about this. I should have worked out the most economic way to cut it. So 4 1/8. I'm going to do both of those at the same time. 4 1/8. Okay, and then I'm going to turn it round because I now need it 6 1/8, and that's a little bit tricky on this paper trimmer because this piece gets in the way. So I'm just going to put my arm out here, and then I can see where 6 1/8 is, just there. So 6 1/8 and 6 1/8, just like that. Okay, let's put this paper trimmer back. So now I've got 2 pieces. One's going to be a front and one's going to be a back. Doesn't matter which it is. I just need some glue. So we are going to, where that first score line is there, we're going to stick that on, and it looks really finished because you're covering it. It also makes it really strong. So I'm going to put the glue on there, like so. So I'm putting it on the spine, not on the other piece. And I'm being careful not to squidge it out everywhere. And then I put this bit on, and I'm using Tombow glue because I want a bit of wiggle room, so I want to make sure it's straight. So make sure that that fits, and then I'm looking along here to make sure that that fits as well. Okay, I'm just going to press that down. Oh, got a little bubble of glue there. Press it down and just make sure it's really set. So I'm using my bone folder as well, just to make sure that it's lovely and set really nicely. There's no bubbles or anything, because this is going to be the outside cover. Okay, so one side is done. Now we're going to do the same on this side, so I'm just going to flip it over so it's easier to do. I do exactly the same. This really is the easiest album cover. And then do exactly the same, bring this to this. Make sure you don't go over the score. Bring it over and just make sure that it's lined up before you press it down. Okay, so it's lined up top and bottom. And then I'm going to do the same. I'm going to press that down over there. And there is our cover. Ta-da! Look at that, it's already looking good. Okay, so before I move on to the inside, I'm going to add some of the little flowers. If I can find the dies, let me find them. So crazy. That literally is crazy. I couldn't find my iPad this morning. I think it's menopause taking over. Definitely can't find them. Do you know, as soon as I stop filming, oh, they'll be there. Okay, I definitely didn't put them there. I've put them somewhere safe. I hope you're laughing along with me. No. Right, I'll show you what I do without doing it. Oh. Okay, so I've got a piece of Lost Lagoon card. Just make sure they're not here. Make sure they're not here. Stuck to something. Definitely not here. Lost Lagoon card. I've got some adhesive sheets. I don't know if you've seen it from Stampin'Up. It's big sheets, almost A4, probably a little bit longer and less wider. And it's got different, you just peel off one side and on the other side is sticky. So I get my chosen piece of card, I peel it off so it's all in one go. So that now has turned that card into a sticky piece of card when I remove this. I put my dies on there. I'll show you with a different one. What can I show you? I haven't got a... Should we do a balloon? Let's do a balloon. So that goes on there. I die cut it through. just like that. And when I take the die off, it's now got a sticky back. So when I remove it, it will stick onto my piece of card, and even though it's the same colour, it will stand out. Can you see? So if this was a birthday album, I could easily do balloons just on this bit. Because it's going to have flowers on, I'm going to wait until I find the flowers and then do the flowers. So pop back on here onto Instagram or Facebook and you'll see it finished. Oh, goodness me. Right, so that's the outside. The only thing left to do with that is the ribbon. So we could do that now. Should we do that now? Okay. So ribbon, we want a piece front and back. Not too long because it's not, I'm just going to straighten that. I know it's silly, but I don't like a thingy edge. Right, so I'm going to put a bit in the middle. So probably about there, like so. And I'm going to get another bit ready for the other side. Is this going to work? Probably not. Okay. Because I want the ribbon to be in the same place. Okay, so now I've got it back and front, and the ribbon that I've chosen is this one because it's got Pretty Peacock in it. Okay, so I'm just going to cut a piece off. Oh my goodness, the scissors and they're right in front of me. Okay, so I'm going to cut a piece off, not too long, just enough to stick. Okay, that is going to go just enough to tie a little bit of a bow there. And then what I do with that is cover that with a piece of Designer Series paper. So I do that front and back. And then when we put the album all together, you'll be able to see what I'm doing. Okay. As in, you'll see, oh look, that's got all tangled up. I'm blaming the heat. The heat's getting to me. We're not used to the heat in the UK. Rainy weather is when we survive best. Okay, so that's just going to go there. So that's my ribbon, just so that I don't forget to do the ribbon. I've done it now. I'll cover that in paper in a minute. Let's get on with the rest of the album. So the pieces of paper that we need, we're taking it from one 12 by 12. So we've got our 12 by 12 sheet, and I need to cut this into 3 strips of 4 by 12. So I'm literally just going to do that. I'm going to cut it into 3 strips. So 4 inches, I already know it's 12 by 12. So there's 1, there's 2, and there's the 3rd. And I know that I need it to be scored in the middle. So I'm going to score it at 6 inches. Make sure I'm scoring and not cutting. There's 1. Don't worry about which way round it is at the moment. That will all be sorted out in a minute. There's 2. And here is 3. So there's the 3. Now on my original diagram, or my measurements, I did this little diagram here, I'm no great artist, but what it's showing you is the order of the pages and where you need to score to do the zigzag bit. So on the first page, so if we take this as the first page, that's going to be like that. It's got a score line and then it's got another score line here at 1 inch, okay? So this is going to be our back piece. It's already got a score line at 6 and then we need a score line here at 7. Well, it's easier for me to do it this way round and do it at 5. I hope that makes sense. Just means I don't have to get the arm out on my paper trimmer. So now I've got a score line at 6 and a score line at 7. So what happens is, I'll just fold that back so you can see. And this is where the zigzag bit comes in. Okay, so what I'm going to do is glue that bit down like that so that it stays stuck when the album opens, and that gives it that zigzag effect. Okay, so I'm just going to do that straight away now because I know that this is my back piece. So my last page in the album. And again, I didn't overdo the glue because I only want it behind here. I want this bit to be loose and free. Okay, so that's 2 pages done. That's the first piece. Now the next piece, if I bring this back in again, okay, the next piece has got a score line at 1 inch, a score line at 6 inch, and a score line at 7 inch. Okay. But I want it to be the opposite way round. So I'm folding it the other way. So it was the flower side. It was like that. I've turned it back this way. And when it's joined on, it's going to go like that. Okay. So I need to make sure that the score lines are on the inside. So I'm doing 1 at 1 inch. Okay, 1 inch. The 6 inch one is already done, and then I'm flipping it round to do this 5 or 7, whichever way you want to do it. Okay, so if I move that out the way, so let me show you that. Move that out the way so you can see. So this was our first zigzag piece. Now on this piece, I've got a 1 inch that's scored. Okay, so that bit. Then I've got a 6 inch piece that's scored, and then a 7 inch piece that's scored. So what happens with that is that one gets stuck onto there. Okay, so turn that over, put some glue on this piece. Bring it back, make sure your joining bit is there to the right, and you're going to join this piece to the previous page but on the left as I'm looking at it. Let's not get into a row about left and right. Okay, so just make sure that that's stuck, and before I do anything else I'm just going to check that the zigzag is working. So there's a piece there and a piece there. It gives your album an extra bit of stability. If this is too much of a faff for you, don't do it. Just have an accordion fold. So basically it just goes back and forth, back and forth. But I love the way that it stands up when it's open. Now we come to this bit. This bit has got the fold, and we're going to need to stick it down. So on the inch piece that you've scored, put some glue on it, just like so. Fold it over. Oh, press too hard. There you go. So there's that piece. Let's have a look again. We've done 2 pages. Now we bring the third piece in. The third piece is going to be flowers, again on the outside, but this time we just need 1 inch here. So right on the far left side, you're just doing a score line at 1 inch. There you go. So bring it back over, and you're just doing a score line there. So we're going to put some glue on the back, on the flower bit, flower side on my paper anyway. Bring that over, stick it to the outside, far left. There's no zigzag on this one. Or did we put it on that one? Let's have a look. No, I didn't. Okay, that's all right. So now, when you put it all back together, but open it slowly, you can see there's your pages. There's your pages. Or if you open it the other way, that bit. Just make sure you've done it in the right place. That bit and that bit. Oh, there's a little bit of glue stuck on the top. So just make sure that your pages all work. And that is your zigzag album. Okay. So now what you do is bring your cover back in. We're going to stick it in. So decide which is the way up that you want it. I'm going to put a little bit of double-side tape over the top of that so that really is stuck down. Okay, just over the top of there so that my paper sticks to it really well. Put some glue onto the paper, just making sure I've got it the right way round. All over the back, because this is going to be stuck down in place. Okay, lift it up, and there should be just enough room to leave a bit of a border around. Okay, so I'm just going to hold that in place for a minute, and that means that your ribbon's all in there all nicely. Your pages are all stuck in there nicely. Let's have a look. So now, when I open it, can you see? Ta-da! Okay, so the back cover is all nicely covered. You can't see where the ribbon is, it's behind there. And the pages flip back and forth. So this side, I need something that will cover on there. So let's have a look. I haven't got much left. I've got a piece of this. Is this going to be big enough? Let's have a look. I don't know that it is because it's quite a bit smaller. Let's see if we could get away with it. You could get away with it, but it is quite small. What's this one? This is a bit that's left over. Actually, I think I'm going to use that. What am I saving it for? So this needs to be 4 inches, doesn't it? 4 inches by 6. So 6. 4 by 6. Let's have a look before we stick it down. That side's just Lost Lagoon, so it needs to be this side. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay. Oh, what I'm going to do with that card, and I didn't do it on this after telling you to do it. Just go along the edge because it will just lift your page. Now I'm going along it with Lost Lagoon. If you haven't got Lost Lagoon Stampin' Right marker, go with a similar colour or a dark colour so that it frames it like that. Okay, I'm going to put some glue on there, and then I just need to make the pocket, don't I? Put some glue all over because I want it really stuck down well, like so. We're nearly there. Apart from the making it pretty, putting all the personal touches on it that make it special. That's the loveliest bit, isn't it? Okay, so that looks nice and finished. The ribbon's not seen, it's all inside. The pages come open, just like so. Oh, love it. It hasn't got flowers on the top front, but we're not going to talk about that. Okay, what didn't I do here? So I was going to go along all of the edges just with my pen. just like that. Can you see? It just changes it. It gives it a bit of quality actually. Right, I'm gonna carry on with that in a minute because you don't want to watch that. It's like watching paint dry, but can you see what I mean about doing the finishing touches? Right, the pocket. So we've got our album. If you're going to use loads of embellishments on your pages and photos and all sorts, you probably don't need to add a pocket. But what I found is, because the pages are thin and the spine is 3/4 of an inch, there's quite a big gap and I wanted something to fill it. I didn't want it to be all floppy and not very nice looking. So the pocket. Now, do I need to do the pocket in this colour? I think I need to do it in Lost Lagoon. So the pocket needs to be 2 1/4 by 7. So 2 1/4, just about got that in, I think. 2 1/4 by 7. And this is just a really simple pocket. You could make this deeper if you wanted to. On 3 of the sides, I need to score at 1/4. So 1/4 and 3/4. So I think I told you the size is wrong on the pocket. So 1/4 and 1/4 and then 3/4. 1/4 and 3/4. Okay, bring that out. Let's move that out of the way. Get my scissors back. So we end up with this sort of shape. So we're just going to burnish all of those. Plain folder. Just like that. On the 3 sides. Like that. And then the 3rd one. Because it's quite a long pocket, you might have a bit of trouble with the 1/4 of an inch bit, so just persevere with it because you want to make sure this is right before you try and stick it on. Okay, so right the way you got long and just do it. So then what I'm going to do is there's a little square here. I'm going to cut up there. I'll do it and then I'll show you what I've cut off. Okay, so you've ended up with 2 little tabs. Okay, like that. I'm going to cut one off, like so, and I'm going to cut this bit off, like that. So this bit is a tab. This bit has been cut off from there, and this bit has been cut off from there. Okay. So I'm going to do the other side. So this is not a really good pocket to add to lots of projects. So if you're into scrapbooking, you could add it. If you do lots of mini albums, this is a good pocket. There's not a lot to it, but it does the job you want it to do. Remember, don't pull your card like I was going to, because it will tear the card. So the only other thing is, what happens is I fold this round like this, and can you see that on the corner it overlaps, so it doesn't sit very nicely. So what I'm going to do is just angle these sides like that and like that so that they don't overlap. So I've just ended up diagonally across there. I've turned the card round so I can do the other side. Okay, so I'm just cutting off a triangle. Okay, hang on, Rose. I was clever today. I shut them out so that they couldn't halfway through the video start meowing. So I put a little bit of glue on each corner square. At the same time, I bring that round and glue that in place. Okay, glue that and glue that. So you get a nice square piece, and then you're left with that piece that you can stick onto your page. Okay, so this one, and that is going to be my pocket that I stick onto here. But what I should have done first is put some designer series paper on it. So that's going to go on there. Do I do the designer series paper before I put it in? Oh, I didn't stick that, did I? Okay, let's stick that. I'm trying to rush ahead now. Okay, is that stuck? Should we put some designer series paper? I didn't really want the same paper though. And I don't like that unless I stamp on it. No, I haven't got any more paper. Right, I'm going to leave it because I'm going to go and look in my stash what I have got to add. So I just put a little bit of glue there. I am going to put paper on it, but I'm going to go through because I've got a big stash. I bet you have too. One packet to use and one packet to stroke. Isn't that the rule for a paper crafter? So of course, I'm just holding that in place, just like so. Oh, press too hard. Okay, so if I'm happy with where it is, I spin it round and I use my bone folder to get it in the right place and just to go over where the glue is. That is a big long pocket, isn't it? Get a nice bar of chocolate in that. Okay, I think that's it. So we've got our pocket, we've got our album that comes out, we've got our embellishments that we're going to put on. I'm going to do my flowers on the front, but that is it. That is the bones of your album. Ta-da! I told you it was easy. Really, really easy. I love it. I love how it's come out. I love how easy it is to do. I love the zigzag effect. Yeah, let me know what you think. Give it a go. Get in touch. Share a photo of your make. Tell me off for not finding the dies. Anything you like. I'm always happy to talk crafting. And don't forget, you can shop the products with me at creatortheottaway.co.uk. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.